Hello.
Hello.
Here we are.
Yet again.
In our wonderful garage. We have been painting things in here. She heat treated some things and we clear coat them, and we've got stuff hanging everywhere. But in order to do the heat treating to make these beautiful and colorful.
Which you can't tell in that video.
Well, you could tell here.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Gorgeous.
In order to do that, I have to bring things to like raw steel. No mill scale. Here, Melinda, take
Yes,
this.
sir.
Well, actually, I'll just show you one of these. So, where'd that piece go? This has mill scale.
Here, hold it down. There you go. Now you can see it. Yep, because that's just getting painted, so it's okay to have the mill scale on it.
And this does not have mill scale because we heat treat. So what I've been doing for like 2 years now is using 60 and 80 grit flat discs on an angle grinder, and it's terrible. It's difficult. You end up taking a lot of material that you don't want to take, and there are alternatives, but everything is very expensive, and we're just not there yet. But
Bottom line, we've been having an insane influx of orders for Christmas. It's what, December 10th today?
Yeah.
And we, out of nowhere, got almost 60 orders on Etsy in the past week, along with vendor shows we're doing, online orders, custom orders. So pretty much we're just...
yeah,
we're swamped, which is good. It's a good problem to have.
It's great. Yeah, we're shipping 5-6 items almost every day here this past couple weeks. So it's been a lot. My hands and arms and wrists and shoulders are wet noodles all the time. It's ridiculous. It's so hard to wield an angle grinder for that much time on end. So we started doing some research, and we found a lot of people using distilled white vinegar to remove the mill scale and, obviously rust and everything off of items. But we don't, ours aren't rusty, ours just have mill scale, and we need to get the mill scale off of them in order to heat treat them. I know I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but we're gonna try it. And I know it's gonna take a while. There's other options. Muriatic acid is one. People say that acts a lot faster, but it is nasty. We have 2 kids in the house. I don't really want to do it outside because it's winter, and
that doesn't sound fun.
That sounds crappy. So we're going to do it in the garage, and we're going to try vinegar. And if these are clean by tomorrow, which I'm hopeful that they will be, that would just...
We've read mixed reviews on it can take 24 to 48 hours. We're hoping closer to the 24-hour mark.
I've heard people say everything from 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours. We've been talking to somebody. He says he lets his sit in the vinegar bath for 2 days.
And he also uses, we just found out, 7 to 10% white vinegar, and we didn't know that till about 2 minutes ago. But we already went and bought all of this, and it's only 5%. So, as always, you guys are going to watch us, just hope for the best, right?
We'll see if it works. But yeah, we'll set you up. I'm going to pour some vinegar in here, and I'm going to place some signs in here, and we'll just check on it periodically, and hopefully I'll have an update in the morning, and these are all clean.
Fingers crossed. So, actually I poured 3 gallons in. We bought, what, 10?
Yeah.
We didn't know. Again, you guys are always learning with us. Learning what not to do. So we're just stacking them. I don't know. We talked about like trying to put something in there to separate them. We're just gonna try this first and see what happens. Is that everything?
That's everything that, if this actually works, this is like 4 hours of grinding. So yeah, if I could just let it sit in a vinegar solution for a day, I could be doing something else. So I hope, man, I hope.
All right, we will check back in. Okay, so I already have a change of plans.
Yeah, I had a change of heart. I was gonna just stack them. You can actually already see it working. See the bubbles escaping and stuff? I'm assuming that's doing something. I'm gonna take all these flag hangers. Well, flag hangers, just hangers. They were marking flags originally, but we bent them up into little hangers to hang all of our signs and stuff when we paint them. I'm gonna take a bunch of these and just lay them down, like between layers, just to try and keep the layers off of
Each other.
each other. Like just to try and, I don't know, let the vinegar have more of a chance to get between things.
Because the wind spinners, we need to be good on both sides, especially because both sides are seen.
Right.
The flags, it doesn't matter quite as much if the back isn't completely perfect because it's going to be against the wall, but
it'd still be nice for it to be both sides clean. I always clean both sides anyway because it heats more evenly. It doesn't warp as much while you're putting the torch to it. So
yeah, we made that mistake. So here's another tidbit we learned the hard way. We started not removing the mill scale off the back of the signs just because, again, trying to save Andrew's arms in the grinding process. But when we did that, we found that the sign would warp more. So we went back to just removing the mill scale off both sides.
Which is, just so much fun. So yeah, once again, I am super hopeful that this just works. I'm hoping and praying. This would be amazing. But yeah, there we go.
All right.
We shall find out.
See you in a few hours.
Yep.
All right. It has been, what, 20?
Pretty much 24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours almost exactly. So Andrew went ahead and put the hose outside. I think we're hopeful that they are done. So you guys are seeing it for the first time too. Drum roll.
Gross.
Nar nar.
So, from what I understand, they're probably going to need wiped off. So my thought is, I pull this up out of here, and it looks like there's still mill scale on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to take it outside.
Gross.
It's coming off on my hands. Well. Wow. Look at that. That's wild.
That is wild.
That's wild. I don't know. You can see where this was sitting on a wind spinner. You can see the. Can you see the?
Yeah. You can see the wind spitter marks on it.
I don't know.
Well, do you think maybe we just try heat treating this one first?
I mean, I've got the rest of them in the vinegar bath.
I know, let them keep going, I mean, and just see if this one
Dry
works.
this one off and see if it
Yeah,
heat treats.
see if it heat treats.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see if this works.
All right.
This is a good test.
Step, I don't know what step it would be. Next step, see if heat treat works. All right. All right, so
We don't love it.
technically the heat treating works. I just stopped because I felt like I was wasting, whatever, propane. MAP gas, thank you. I knew it wasn't propane. It almost looks like watercolors, which isn't the look we're going for. I mean, it's like kind of cool, but it's not what people bought. So
It's neat like at a distance, but as soon as you get close, it looks.
yeah, like look from afar. Oh, cool. Not as cool. So I don't know if we just need to let it go longer.
I don't think so. I think the mill scale's gone. I don't think that it's going to do anything more in the bath. I think that honestly, like you were talking about, like you want that shiny metal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna get that even with acid, I don't think. Like even with muriatic acid, I think that a grinder or a sander or a polisher of some sort is probably about the only way you can get that finish, that shiny finish. But now the mill scale's gone, hopefully the grinder is easier to get a nice, even, consistent, shiny finish. I don't know. I'm gonna take this, once it cools, I'm gonna take it down to the barn and try, and we'll see if I can do it in a few minutes. It's a lot better than 30 minutes, because that's generally about what it takes.
Yeah, then it's still worth doing what we're doing.
I think so, because it's, what do we got? $9 worth of vinegar in a tub.
Right.
And we'll be able to use that over and over again.
So, next step.
Next step, let this crap cool, because it's hot.
It's hot.
And I'll take it down and try and grind it and touch base.
All right.
Okay, here we are, back down in the cluster, you know what, of a barn. My work area. I want to try and see how it is grinding off. It's not mill scale. I don't know what it is. It's just raw steel, so I guess I'm gonna put a grain in it, or I'm gonna make it shiny. Right now it's very dull. I'm gonna make it shiny. Usually this is a task and a half because of the mill scale. I've been using these benchmark abrasives, flap discs. They're good. I think this here is an 80 grit. I also have 60 grit. You know, I've used Harbor Freight stuff in the past. I have bought Preferred in the past. I can't remember how many other brands I've bought. And what I've found is these benchmark ones are definitely not the best flap disc I've used. But at the price point, they last so long compared to a Harbor Freight, like a Warrior disc, or what are the other ones? I can't remember. I think Warrior's the one that I bought a lot of because they were dirt cheap, you know, like $2.50 a wheel. And these, when I've been buying them, I buy them in packs of 10, and they're $19.99. So they're less than $2 a wheel, and they last 6 times as long as the Harbor Freight ones do. I don't know. All that being said, they're still just flap discs. But yeah, you can definitely buy better. But these bang for buck, this is where it's at for me. But anyway, here we go. If anybody's interested, I think Melinda is trying to figure out how to leave a link for certain things in the description. So hopefully that'll be there. Yeah, I'm gonna set you up. I'm gonna grind this thing, and we'll see how quickly that happens. How long was that? That clip is 7 minutes. So, that being said, I'm at least 30 minutes into these things when I have to do the mill scale and all. This turned out really well. I'd say the vinegar, for how cheap it does take a minute. We left it sit in there for, like I said, 24 hours, maybe even a little bit longer. I think it did basically everything it was going to do by this morning. So it probably didn't need that whole 24 hours, but I was unsure of when I was going to get back around to it, so I figured I'd just let it sit in there. I will say, I went ahead and cleaned off the vinegar on a lot of the other stuff. We left one thing in the tub just to see if anything changed. I don't think it will. But I cleaned off everything else, and you saw in the earlier clips how much stuff we put in there. And I kind of wiped everything down with a rag to get all the mill scale off, and then stacked it, like stood it up on its end, and then took everything at once outside to rinse it off. And by the time I made it to like the last 3 items, they were all already flash rusted before I could rinse the vinegar off. So if you don't rinse the vinegar off like immediately, it's going to flash rust. So, but I've got after I dunked it back in the vinegar bath and wiped it all off, and it was fine. And then I took it immediately outside and rinsed all the vinegar off with just my hose, just with water. And they're all hanging in the garage now, not flash rusting. So I think the vinegar is what's causing it to flash rust, but I'm pretty happy with this. This is pretty exciting. This turned out exactly how I always do them, but in 7 minutes rather than 37 minutes. So if I've got the time to let them sit in a vinegar bath overnight, that's what's gonna happen. I believe you me. Like I said, I started out with a very used disc. I don't know if I showed you up close or not, but it's kind of packed with stuff. It's not shot by any means, but it's definitely not new. And so my discs are gonna last even longer now for this process. So I think this is a win. I'm gonna take this back up and show Melinda, and we'll see what she thinks.
All right, so we are back up at the house. Andrew showed me how that eagle turned out after he took it down and polished it for a few minutes, and I thought it looked great. So we went ahead and we polished everything else that we had in the vinegar bath. You can see I went ahead and heat treated everything. You can see it all hanging here. Got some more over there. Sorry, our garage is such a mess. We don't have enough space to work. But the lighting in here is really hard to tell. So here you can see the finished product. See how much better it looks than before Andrew did the polishing on it. It just really has that nice, I don't know, high gloss finish. Well, the high gloss comes from the polyurethane that we spray it with, but the colors just are more even, and I think it's worth the few extra minutes that it takes to polish it after the vinegar bath. So
yeah, and I know I talked about my benchmark abrasives. There's obviously a lot of other ways you can do that. Scotch-Brite discs and this, that, and the other. But we've always been pretty happy with the finish that we get with these. I will say one thing that I touched on in an earlier clip about rinsing them off immediately. I ended up getting this tub of, it's just up on its side right now, but I filled this with water. So I would immediately, check this water out, look at this, or this vinegar. Look how rust colored and mill scaly gross it is. But it keeps working. We've done 2 batches of these in there now. And the second batch probably sat 2/3 the amount of time. And I literally, while the sign is in the vinegar, I'll take that rag and wipe the mill scale off and immediately transfer it into this tub of water. And
that's to prevent it from flash rusting.
Yeah, so I just stacked almost all of these signs. I mean, there's, I don't know, I haven't counted them. I bet there's 15 signs or so in here. And I stacked them all in that water. And it took me hardly an hour to clean all of those. Maybe like an hour and a half to clean all of those with the...
But that typically would take you an entire day, like an entire day.
That would be an entire day's worth of work at least. So yeah, in my opinion, the vinegar bath is worth it. Yes, you have to wait, 10, 12 hours, 14 hours, I don't know exactly. But we've just let them set overnight, and then as soon as I come down here in the morning, they're ready to go. And that workflow seems to work really well, at least for our purposes right now, because we can batch cut a bunch of these out. Like we can do a bunch of runs on them on the, because we're selling them like hotcakes. I mean, these are all sold items. People are buying these flags and wind spinners.
We've sold over 60 in the past, I think, like
10 days.
10 days, yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild, which is awesome, but it got really strenuous trying to remove mill scale with a grinder. That's why we started doing this research, but this is 100% in my opinion worth it. Just to let them sit, because it just takes 5 minutes to clean them now, and it's easier to clean them, and it's easier to get in a more even finish because you're not taking more material than you want to take, because you're not grinding through the mill scale. You're literally just polishing what's there, which is really nice. I guess we just kind of want to cover a few takeaways of this whole process, because it was totally a winging it type of thing when we started.
It usually is.
When we started, we watched a YouTube video and we were like, yeah, that's going to work, so we're going to try that. But here we are. I just want to go over some takeaways.
So key thing, is it worth doing?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, absolutely.
100% worth doing. One thing that we did not realize until after we had already bought the vinegar was I think it's like the percentage of acidity per the vinegar. There's a bunch of different ones. So we just went to Kroger and bought like food grade white vinegar because we didn't know any better. So this is 5% vinegar, and after doing research, it's recommended to try and get at least 10%. There's some that get 30%. I honestly don't even know where you get 30% vinegar.
This says 5% acidity.
Yeah, 5% acidity. So you want to try and get at least a 10% acidity if you can. Clearly the 5% works. Pretty much the lower your acidity, then the longer it's just going to have to sit.
Right,
So,
and I don't know if it loses its potency after a while, but like I said, we've done 2 rounds now.
And it works
That
just as
vinegar's been
good.
sitting in that tub for 3 days?
Yeah.
3 days. And I bet it still stinks, so.
Yeah, I think so far so good. And then of course after taking out of the vinegar bath, immediately submerge it in water so it doesn't flash rust. Something else, if you have a higher acidity vinegar, then you might want to put some baking soda in your water bath
Just to
neutralize it. And then lastly, just if you want that polish look, you're still going to need to finish it with some sort of Scotch-Brite or flat disc.
If you're just prepping these
Something.
things to paint or powder coat or something, I think the vinegar bath is perfectly fine, like as an end result. Like rinse them off, be done, finish them. But we were trying to do, she burns them with a torch, and we call it heat treating. We were trying to get the rainbow effect in heat treating them, and we really need them to be polished
Yeah.
for that to work the way we
To
like it
heat
to work.
and turn the colors we want it to properly.
So.
So that's all we got. Thanks for watching and learning with us, and hopefully this helps someone along the way.